YouTube, what's going on? We're back with another Throne and Liberty video. In this video, we're going to go over the biggest patch that Throne and Liberty has ever come out with. This one's going to have a brand new weapon, the Spear. I know plenty of people are excited for this. I'm excited for this. I'm going to be swapping my weapon out for the Spear, trying it out. It looks a lot of fun. I'll let you guys know on the best builds once I figure that out. We also have a brand new game mode, which is going to be giving you that PvP experience that you're looking for. We also have a few weapon nerfs and a few weapon buffs. And we have the Rune system. There's going to be some brand new skins, I'm sure. So much is going to be in this brand new update. But let's go ahead and start with what everybody wants to know is the Spear. Now, I said I'm going to showcase some overpowered builds in the future, but I just want to showcase this really funny, also broken Greatsword Spear build that you guys can do. As you see right here, you get 997 melee hit chance with 0 perception. You have 70 strength, and you only have to add in 5 stat points. This is insane. Now, how do we end up getting all of this hit chance? Well, if we scroll over here, a lot of it is coming from Vital Force, which will increase your hit chance based on your health. That is a great sword skill. So if you want this insane strength with this insane amount of health, you're going to need a great sword and a spear, and you're just going to be hugely tanky and do a ton of damage. Now, is this going to be best in slot, the best gear? Maybe not. So hold off on building this. This is just kind of something that's very interesting. As you see right here, you're getting a 2-piece Shadow Harvester set, and you're getting 2-piece Field General set right here. This might actually be complete best in slot, but again, hold off on that. This is only doable with this exact gear. So if you don't have this gear, I'm not saying to build this right now, but this is just an interesting build that I saw when I was looking through them. You guys can check them out as well on Questlog GG. Now, let's go ahead and go over what's going on in this brand new patch. We have the Spear, which again, I'll be going over into more detail tomorrow. We have Dimension Trials, which is going to be a new repeatable dungeon. It says challenge your favorite dungeon at various difficulty options. Depending on your chosen difficulty, dungeons will have higher enemy stats, harder boss mechanics, and additional effects. Clear higher levels to contribute towards the leaderboards. Dimensional Trials can be challenged repeatedly and do not have a cost to enter. We have 2 Dimensional Trials are adventurable each week. To take on a Dimensional Trial, you must have cleared the 2-star dungeon with the same name at least once. The party member can choose to join. Future Dimensional Trials can be initiated at a higher difficulty. Clear additional levels to obtain runes as reward as progress towards the Dimensional Trials. So this Dimensional Trials right here is going to be one of the ways to be obtaining runes. And this is going to be pretty difficult content, apparently, since it says that it's going to be at a chosen difficulty. So I guess you can choose to make it a little bit easier or a little bit harder for more rewards. We have the brand new dungeon, Torture Chamber of Screams, so we can finally get those best in slot pants that we've been wanting. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys knew about making it through the chests, so this isn't even that big of news anymore, since luckily we were still able to get our pants through the chests. That's why the pants have fallen quite a bit. War Games, this is the brand new game mode I was talking about. So what is War Games exactly? It says right here, or organize your own competitive matches with custom team compositions through War Games. Stage friendly bouts, practice with your guild, or leave an open call for anyone to join the fight. So this is going to be a good way for you guys to practice your open world combat with your guild or with other people. You can go up against other guilds or just anyone out in the world. You can leave it open for anyone to join you. You can complete with players from your own server as well as other servers in your region. Set up private or public matches from your choice of Boonstone and Riftzone conflict maps. So you're going to basically be fighting just like you would be fighting in a Boonstone or a Riftzone. Up to 4 teams of custom sizes can go head to head. You can also appoint other players to manage individual teams. So this is basically going to be a way for you guys to enjoy the big higher scale open world PvP that you're not going to get through just playing arenas. So I'm not sure what the cap on this is, on how many players per team, but we'll see that tomorrow. Now, the rune system will be unlocked tomorrow, And if you want just a quick little TLDR on what the rune system is, as you see right here, it goes all the way up to level 60 per rune. You have basically an attack rune, you have a defense rune, and you have a utility rune or like an assist rune. So for your attack rune right here, a lot of people are probably going to be going heavy attack chance. If you're going to be going for spear, most likely you're going to want melee heavy attack chance. But if you're going to be ranged, magical, you could pick any of these abilities that you see right here. Now for your defensive one, that's going to depend on what kind of weapons you are using, right? So if you're primarily a ranged unit, getting hit more by ranged attacks, probably go for either ranged evasion or ranged endurance. Most likely at this point of the game, you're going to want to start working on endurance. So I would recommend making your runes for endurance and not evasion, because come tier 2, you're still going to be using these runes. So start preparing for the future and start working on those endurance runes, in my opinion. Now, if you're a primarily evasion build, now's probably the time that you might want to start getting ready to transfer over to the endurance, because in T2, it's all about endurance, not evasion. Now, for the assist one, you've got a bit more variety here. For healers, maybe you want some of the skill heal. I recommend pretty much everyone to go for the skill damage resistance here, because it's just going to help you with surviving a lot more hits, and it's pretty much going to be helpful no matter what class you swap to. These runes will be useful. Now, we can talk for pretty much hours on the rune system. Again, I'll have a video going over the rune system once that comes out, and that way I can explain it in game and showcase it in game a little bit better. Now, something that's really huge that I didn't read about at first is the material transmutation. The material transmutation is a new system that converts a variety of items into materials for other items. Bound equipment or runes can be fed into the transformation to increase the potential output item based on the total value of items consumed. Material transmutation of equipment items can be used to create other equipment items of a grade determined by the items consumed. What does that mean? That means if you put in a certain amount of blue or purple items, you will eventually rank up the transmutation to create another purple item eventually. Material transmutation of runes can be used to create a new rune or rune fragments based on the total value of runes consumed. So for the runes, that will be a way of leveling up your runes or getting brand new runes that you might not have previously gotten a drop for. You can access the material transmutation menu through the main menu under the items section. Now, I'm sure this is something that's going to be very confusing, but basically what it means is you put your blue gear into the transmutation, and if you put enough blue gear in, you will be able to create a purple gear. If you have a bunch of crappy purple gear that you don't want, you throw that into here, and then you'll create a new purple gear. So that's basically my understanding of it. Again, we'll see. Maybe they change something, but we'll see once this patch is done. We have the brand new stat, Fortitude. Fortitude increases your stat to benefit your vitality significantly, as well as boost your base damage, magic damage, melee and ranged endurance, and CC resistance. Initially, the primary route to increase Fortitude stat is through stat bonuses on spear weapons. So we have a brand new stat, Fortitude. It says that it's primarily from spear weapons, so we'll have to see if this is only for spear or if this will be obtained other ways. But it seems like this is a stat that is meant for you if you're jumping in the front lines as a tank, as they serve it here, or as a DPS melee style. We got the fishing codex, which is just a nice quality of life, which will let you just basically see all the fish that you've caught and which ones you haven't caught. Some general updates to the collection codex, party invite. We got guilds, remove the hostile relationship option and list from the guild relationships. Now, why are they removing this, you might be saying? Does this kill the game? Why are they removing hostile guilds? Well, the reason why they're removing hostile guilds is because there's a setting in the game where you could primarily target hostile guilds when you do your little tab targeting and completely ignore everybody else. So what a lot of top guilds do is they want to go over the 3-man alliance system and have a massive Zerg guild of like 3,000 people. You could do that in this game by simply marking every other guild on your server as hostile and have your 3,000 alliance guild not hostile. Even though they're not friendly, even though they're not part of your alliance, you'll never target them with your tab targeting. So that's the reason why they're removing this. That way you will no longer be able to easily tell who is not part of your 3,000 man alliance, which shouldn't have even been a thing. So I'm glad they're removing that. Domination events. Joining a domination event now enables automatic party matchmaking. That's just a nice quality of life. Dungeons reduce the amount of abyssal contract tokens awarded from completing level 20 through 40. I don't care about that. I don't think anyone does. Guilds corrected the display of guild levels. No big deal. Now the event schedule right here, this is kind of an interesting one. It says multiple corrections have been made to the schedule to fix incorrect event times infected by daylight saving times. Basically, they're messing with the event schedule. Hopefully they make something good. It says inner server conquest battles will now take place weekly at 9 p.m. local server time zone. So if you're on the Eastern server, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're on the Western, 9 p.m. Western, so Pacific time. A big change for the combat. We also have weapon masteries going up from level 16 to 20. A huge change that a lot of people have been asking for the conflict mode. Now you will immediately enter combat without having to flag for combat. What does that mean? That means for those of you who are using flash wave on bows, you no longer have to just auto attack somebody before you flash wave. Now this might be super toxic. It might turn into I'm gonna hug the corner and flash wave you, then back up, and then go in and flash wave you, then back up. So we'll have to see if this is a good change or a bad change. A lot of people were asking for it, so the devs threw this in the game. Hopefully we don't regret asking for this. Arena quality of life, dungeon fixes a bug, endurance is going to fix that little bug that was letting you have a negative endurance. They have a temporary fix for that. They said it's not a full fix, but a temporary fix to where you won't be going negative anymore. I believe they still have a problem where it's going to hit 0, but at least it's not going to be negative, I guess. Crowd control immunity will be buffed. It says collision will trigger CC immunity the fastest. Stun, sleep, and fear will cause CC immunity the second fastest. And then other effects will cause CC at a lower rate. So that's very nice. You won't be getting perma-stunned as much through like 3 great swords or a bunch of sleeps into another stun into another sleep. So that's very good. Now we have a little nerf to flash arrow, which is very good. That's going to be flash wave, which is the bow skill that everybody hates. So it says Flash Wave specialization has removed the expanding area damage granted by this specialization. You can still have the increased effective range for healing, but now the effective range will not be increased for the damage, which is a pretty big nerf, to be honest, because that range is massive, but it's still going to be doing the same amount of damage. It's still going to be very, very good. To compensate for that, they just gave you a slight buff devoted shield to give you a little bit of damage reduction. So hopefully that solves or at least helps the problem of the flash arrow. Now we have Greatsword, a little PvE buff right here, nothing too big. Same with staff, it just has a little PvE buff as well as a quality of life update to Icebound Tomb, which will allow you to remove it. So those of you who troll in dungeons on accident using that skill, you can quickly remove that by using the skill again. And a slight nerf to serial fire bombs from a 6-second recovery debuff to a 3-second. Now we also have a slight PvE buff for wand, and that is pretty much it. It says some last things for we the guild added 10 new guild pins, which will be nice. Chat, the text entry field can now be moved. Rankings, characters that have transferred servers or are deleted no longer appear on the rankings. UIs added a new ping meter that can be displayed on the UI with display options available in our settings, and removed a misleading ability UI relating to future content, which for those of you who don't know what that is if you hit edit on your UI previously on the top right of your screen, it would show your abyssal contract tokens that you have for the future dungeons that's not released yet. So I believe that's them removing that. It's not really misleading, but that's that right there. And this video went on a lot longer than I expected to, but this was a very big patch. This isn't even everything because I'm sure there's brand new skins. The holiday Christmas event should be coming out soon and a ton more. So I will see you guys tomorrow when we go over the spear build. I'll see you guys tomorrow.